Hi everybody, welcome. A very, very warm welcome to you for those of you who are celebrating Easter Sunday. Here in Greece we will have Easter a week later. And for those of you celebrating Passover, Pesach, happy Pesach to you. This is often a time of holidays. And holidays and the whole vacation industry has taken a complete turn. If you would have said to somebody a month ago there'd be hardly any planes in the skies and hardly any cars on the roads and hardly any motorbikes on the Greek roads especially, they would have said, "Are you kidding? Are you joking?" I just need some feedback here. I'm being told there is echo. Is there echo? Should I turn my sound down a little? Could you let me know, please? I'd appreciate that. So here we are with all our forms of transportation severely limited. And just last week, on the 4th of April, Venus went into Gemini. And it's going to stay in Gemini until August the 8th. That's over 4 months. Why is it there so long? Well, usually it stays in one sign for about 4 or 5 weeks. And the reason it's going to be there so long is because from May the 13th until June the 25th, it's going to be retrograde. So we get a long, okay, there is echo. Little echo, yes, echoing. Okay. It's a very Venus in Gemini energy. I'm going to turn this lower, a little lower. Could you please tell me if this helps with the echo? All right, because I can't hear what I sound like. Tell me if it improves, please. Thank you. So, Gemini rules transportation with wheels, especially anything to do with wheels. So aeroplanes have wheels to take off, and of course cars and all our usual forms of transportation do have wheels. And since we've stopped all this crazy travelling, look how our air pollution, because Gemini ruling air, it's an air sign, look how our, please fix the air. Yes, it helps. No, not really. What else could I do? I could do something quite drastic. I'm a bit nervous of doing it, but go on, I'll plug out my loudspeaker and let me see if that helps with the sound, please. Could you tell me? Could you tell me whether that's now helped with the echoing? Gemini ruling the hands, you have to be a jack of all trades here. Okay, now I'm being told it's sounding better, but I don't know whether you've heard it now yet since I did the major unplugging there, so I guess you'll tell me. So, Venus retrograde, it's going to start going retrograde in Gemini. It's about us beginning to rethink how we are transporting ourselves, rethinking the amount of journeys that we're taking, rethinking whether we need to run around and rush around as much as we did. Better, thank you. It's not that bad. Okay, great, thank you. I'm going to leave it at that. Could my moderators please, it's better than it was, thank you. Joe, moderators, could you please ask people to like the video so I don't have to say it? Thank you. Joe and Lucy today, who are helping moderate. It's the first time, once again, Mercury just gone into Aries. Good time for firsts, Aries being the first sign of the zodiac. So Thank you very much, Joe and Lucy, for helping out today. They're also going to help and answer your questions, hopefully, for the ones that flip by so quickly that I can't get to. So, let's just break down this Venus and Gemini energies. So, Venus rules love, rules money, and it rules your desires, your needs, beauty. So anything that you are desiring is very Venusian. It's like, oh, I'd love that. That would make me look so beautiful. And so wherever Venus is in your chart will show you the kinds of things that you desire. So if Venus is in Taurus, for example, oh, you're going to like beautiful things, and you're going to have nice surroundings and maybe like art, things like that. If you've got Venus in Gemini, you're going to like variety, a bit of this and a bit of that, and lots of different interests. If you've got Venus in Cancer, chances are you like to stay home and enjoy being home. Yes, so Venus has certain desires. I have Venus in Sagittarius. So I have a great desire to teach and to share knowledge and information. So let's look at Venus in Gemini. And if you can find out where Gemini is in your chart, you will see which house or houses are being affected by this transit. And you can interpret it in your way, in the way that you want to interpret it. You see, in your life area, you can see where it falls for you. So, Venus rules these areas of love, of money, of security, of relationships, you and me doing things together. And Gemini rules the lungs, rules breathing, rules words, rules communications, rules speaking and teaching, and the arms and the hands. Now we've got to start putting them together. This is what's so exciting about astrology, is putting these elements together. How do they play together? Well, Venus in Gemini, actually, if it's expressed at a low frequency, can be very fickle, not very loyal. For example, especially in the charts of men, if I see Venus in Gemini, often, not always, but often this man has a roving eye. Yeah, he likes to keep his options open. Well, maybe I like this one, but actually I like this one too. Yes, and often has two women. I really see this quite a lot. Not always, please. This is not a carte blanche. Because there is also a higher expression of Venus in Gemini, because in esoteric astrology, which is a whole other subject, but just to dig into it a little here because I think it's very significant. In esoteric astrology, Venus is exalted in Gemini. Now, why is that? Why should it be in mundane astrology that Venus is, it's a little bit all over the place. Yeah, it likes variety, likes this, likes that. So in relationships, thank you very much, Jamie Lee. In relationships, it's not necessarily steady. Needs a lot of freedom. And for some signs that's all right, but if you're going to be with a Taurus or a Cancer, somebody with Venus in Gemini is an absolute no-no, because they're never going to know whether you're really with them or not. 100% that is. Especially even in your thoughts. So, Gemini energy questions everything. So it questions its relationships, it will question its finances. But in the esoteric astrology, the soul-centered astrology, you don't see everything through your personal lens, because that's what Venus is about. This is me and mine and what I love and who I want to be with. It's about seeing yourself as part of the whole. It's about seeing yourself as uniting duality, uniting opposing forces. Thank you, Samantha, again, very much. So it's bringing together the twins. Gemini, the twins. The good twin, the bad twin. Is it true? Is it false? Do I think this one day and this another day? So it does have that changeability to it. But when it rises above this whole changeability and sees that we are part of a big, big whole, and surely we are seeing that now because of the air that we breathe, that now we can catch something. Thank you, Roller Girl. Yeah, really, we're now seeing what we breathe the same air. Gemini ruling air. So I think that this is an opportunity especially while we have this retrograde Gemini energy, is to see in which ways we can end the duality, or at the very least begin to see other sides of the equation. I think it's fascinating that both Trump and Boris Johnson are Geminis. Bloody pair of them. Gemini energy. So it's going to be interesting to see as we go through the retrograde what gets retracted, what gets reevaluated as far as the virus is concerned. The virus may retract a little during the retrograde. May. Or it may get stronger. It's funny with retrograde, sometimes it causes things to go more one way or more another way. And it's very hard to know which way. So there could be an acceleration one way, but they also could be an acceleration the other way. But overall, we're looking at how are we dealing with words? Gemini, above all, using words, thoughts, words, speech, actions, and then what we ultimately create. So it's powerful, power. And I just want to say thank you again to Joe and Lucy. They're doing a terrific job communicating with you here on the live chat. I've never had help like this before. It's wonderful. Thank you for making my job much easier. So thank you. I've got two of you in true Gemini fashion working beautifully together. So how are we dealing with the opposing energies of fear, which is super strong, especially if you listen to the media, and love, which is also super strong because it is natural to us and to our hearts. It's natural to us. So we're dealing with the quality of our air. Thank you, Sherry. The quality of our air. Are we going to pollute it with all the stuff that we're putting in Mother Earth and our air? And also polluting our health. Also, what are we putting on our air waves? There's a lot of controversy, or controversy, as you say in America. My friend laughs every time I say controversy. Words again. Play on words. What do we hear? What do we believe? And how do we know what's true? Is 5G harmful? From all reports, it seems to be as though it's very questionable. Venus, Gemini energy. We've got to question everything. And the power of the words that we use. I've noticed now that I've got a lot more nasty comments lately, really nasty ones. And at the same time, a lot more beautiful comments. It seems that the polarizing is really getting stronger. So this polarization, can we see that we're not enemies? Can we see that we're in the same soup? And that what we do to one side of the world, we do to the whole world. What happened to Fukushima in 2011 affected our oceans, affected what we've been eating these last years when Uranus went into Aries. Now Uranus just into Taurus, and the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and Jupiter, we have a pandemic in the air signs, in the air. So now we see the water, the air, the elements, the earth, all affected by what we are doing, what we are saying. All of it. But on the soul level, the highest level of the expression, thank you Denise, the highest expression, thank you Amy, of this Venus in Gemini is we've got to find a way to either accept the duality and to find a way to be able to appreciate one another's different perspectives and intelligently use our intelligence to navigate our way through this virus, to not use this virus as something that pits us against one another. We can't use it for that. We've got to find a way, maybe through poetry, maybe through other kinds of communication, maybe through music, maybe through light language or love language. There's going to be new languages that appear. They have to. By listening better. The eclipses are going to come up in the middle of the year in Gemini and Sagittarius. This has to do with mutability. Are we willing to change? Or are we just in a hurry to get back to whatever we had? I wouldn't be in so much of a hurry to get back to normal, whatever normal is going to be. These are great questions, thank you. You're asking about vaccines. Well, I think we've got to look at the power of questions and asking the right questions. I used to talk to a psychic, and she said, the people that got the most value from my sessions were the ones who knew how to ask the right questions. So we've got to ask good questions. So what would be good questions right now? Do we want a vaccine? It seems, according to Bill Gates and the reports that are going out, that there's going to be possibly, or quite likely, a mandatory vaccine. But what happens, and I'm not for or against, please, this is astrology talk. This is not bracha saying, I think it should be this, I think it should be that, right? I'm not. I'm doing Gemini energy, and I'm saying, hey, what are we looking at here? What's valuable to you now in your world? Where is the duality in your world? How are you going to deal with when we are let free, or freer? How are you going to deal with that? Are you going to reach out to people, or are you going to be afraid of people? Again, the fear-love balance here. Yeah. So where are we going to draw lines? Yeah, we're not allowed to go to the beach. We're not allowed to go camping. We're not allowed to sit in the park. We're not allowed to go for a drive if it's not essential. We're not allowed to visit close family. And yet we can go into supermarkets and buy things. Our neighbours apparently are reporting people who are going out inappropriately. what do we want? Yeah? What are the questions we need to ask? Huge corporations are getting bailed out again. The oil industry, the automotive industry, the car industry was dropping before the virus. And now the car companies are going to be saying to governments, we need bailing out, we need helping out. So what are we to do here? This Gemini leaves us really, Venus in Gemini, it's a conundrum. What do we want for our financial world? What do we want for our relationships? These are big questions, guys, very big questions. And I think we've really got to think carefully with this Venus going backwards in Gemini. What's true? What's false? What's fake news? What's true news? What is entertainment? What is serious? Which governments are handling it well, which governments are not, and why? And can we learn, Gemini, learn from other nations and other peoples in the way they're handling it? Rather than cutting ourselves off, can we learn? So, I will put my view in here. I think we're leaving an old world behind, and I think we've got an opportunity to create a different world. I think wherever Venus in Gemini is falling in your chart is an opportunity for you to reevaluate how you think, how you get messages, how you listen to more subtle messages in your life, and how you deal with polarity, with people maybe who have different political views to you, who have different financial outlook to you, have different relationship, different religion. Religion's going to come up for sure with the eclipses in Sag and Gemini. That's for sure coming. So what happens when other viruses come round? We've got a vaccine for this one, but then there's other viruses that come. What are we going to do? Just get more and more vaccines? So what can we learn from this? Venus in Gemini, what is the highest learning? I've certainly been learning how wasteful I've been. I'm probably going to have to learn how to cut my own hair. I'm beginning to feel like a shaggy dog. I know it might not look like it from this angle, but it really, I have to comb it carefully to get it to look reasonable. And I hate to think what it's going to look like another month from now. But what about, we're going to have to learn how to be very adaptable. Much more adaptability. Yeah, the mutable signs are usually more adaptable. Yeah, we've been told we've got to wash our hands more. Gemini does rule the hands. Thank you very much, Leo. And I'm wondering now, when we come out of this, how are we going to use our hands? Or even now, how are we using our hands? Some of you are making masks. What are you doing with your hands right now? Yeah? What are you doing with your hands, other than washing them? So, the immutable signs, Virgo, Pisces, Gemini and Sag, you're the ones that need to teach us how to be more adaptable, and certainly the eclipses are going to affect you guys, and the fixed signs are being affected deeply by Uranus in Taurus. Of course we all are, but the fixed signs are getting hit by Uranus in Taurus because it's either conjuncting you Taurians, or it's opposite you Scorpios, or it's squaring up with Aquarians and Leos. And of course the cardinal signs, well, we've had the cardinal climax since about 2015, so cardinal signs have been taking it for many years now, especially Capricorns since 2008, and Cancerians and Libras and Aries. So all of it, all of us now, if you like, are right in this together more than we've ever been, more than ever. So yeah, I'm expecting to see more polarization, but we're going to have to see the higher expression of Venus in Gemini, which is listening to one another, which is saying kind words. I'm really at the point where if you can't say a kind word, if you're going to say something nasty, just please don't bother. Please don't bother. We need kind words right now, more than ever. So start thinking about the kind words that you could say. Yeah? What are the kind words? Okay, great. Nurses are the best. Yeah? What are 10 kind things you can think of saying now? And I'm going to give you a little homework assignment. Yeah? I like giving these homework assignments because they're good. I learn from them too. But what are 10 kind things that I could say to you guys now? I could say thank you very much for tuning in with me. I'm so grateful you're with me. We can rub our hands in prayer, hands together in prayer. I can pray for your highest good. Thank you, Hurricane Kate, Mystic 33, thank you. I can give thanks. I give thanks. The hands express so much, don't they? Are we going to be shaking hands with one another when we come out of quarantine? Are we going to hug one another? These are all questions with Venus retro in Gemini. Venus rules these parts of the body. But right now, it's our words. Are we going to hug one another? I sure as hell want to hug people again. Don't know about you. So we are going to have to really begin to look at what it is. What are the important questions we need to ask of our leaders? Where do we need to really go for it? And keep in mind, I love Arthur Schopenhauer's quote, all truth passes through 3 stages. At first it is ridiculed. Then it is violently opposed. At the 3rd stage, it is accepted as self-evident. So what are we ridiculing right now that we need to take seriously? What are we violently opposing that maybe we need to reevaluate or maybe violently oppose more? So these are things really that we need to really think about. And thank you for all these beautiful comments that you're making, because our hands can be used for healing. They can be used for making things. They can be used for making war weapons, or they can be used for healing and loving one another. I'm sending you healing vibes, sending you big e-hugs. So I think this is deep thought. When things go into retrograde, guys, this is time for deep thought. Yeah. I think I've said a lot there. I almost feel as though, let me listen to you now. Let me just take a few moments to just listen to what you would like to say or share. Okay, so we want a basic income, thank you. Healing hugs, thank you. You're making face shields, thank you, Sarah. The sound is weird. Okay, don't know what to do about that. We must give thanks for our good health, yes. Thank you. Thank you. So if you'd like to make suggestions about any videos you'd like, thank you, Cindy. Thank you to those of you who are joining me on Patreon. Thank you very, very much. I will be more active on Patreon. I haven't had a chance, but I am going to be more active with those of you who are kindly supporting me on Patreon. That's very generous of you. And thank you to all of you who just like my videos, who send me lovely emails. I get so many beautiful messages and emails. I post on Instagram almost every day, some kind of a message. just a one message. This is a chance for us to live in peace. A video on finance, thank you. Can my moderators remind me of that, please? Being tested on boundaries, yes. Lots of lessons, yes. Gemini, what are we learning? Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. COVID, certificate of vaccination ID. Gosh, that's an interesting analysis there. So also looking up on keep up the good work, thank you. And looking at words, lock down. Unlock ourselves upwards. Clocks, time. Do I see a second wave of virus? Possibly. Yes, there is a possible wave of virus, yes, in the winter time, yeah. It is possible. I do hope not, but it really depends how we are. You see, I'm going to do a video about 2025. 4 years ago, I did a video about 2020, and I said this was a pivotal year where we may look back on the time before 2020 as one era of history and a new era of history beginning in 2020. And I think, gosh, I hadn't realized how significant that was, but I think we're seeing that's possibly the case now. So it's an opportunity for a reboot of your thinking, an opportunity to meditate, to slow down that crazy monkey mind. Rather live wild in the woods than have a vaccination. I think many people will choose that. I think there will be many tribes coming together in communities who want to live out of the system. Yeah. But language, very important. Deep symbolism, thank you. Thank you. The West needs a vision 2025. I'm going to share that. I will be looking into that. So, revising all the information. What on earth happened? Yeah, what can we take to believe or not? Should you take your money out of the banks? That's a great question. Could you like the video, guys, please? There's a lot more listening than I've liked. I'd appreciate that if you're still here. It just helps the YouTube algorithm. Thank you. I wouldn't have a lot of money in banks, okay? You need some money in banks, of course, to be able to operate, but not too much. No conspiracy theories. Can't even say the word. Thank you. The physical body is a temple. And I love this quote. I think I might finish with this beautiful quote. Finance and alternatives. Food is going to be an issue. Food supplies. Water supplies. Buy gold, yes, for sure. But I've been saying buy gold and silver for years now. Thank you to my wonderful moderators. So Rumi says, love is my religion and every heart is my temple. So I just want to thank my wonderful moderators, both Joe and Lucy. They're right on the ball here, totally on the ball. Let's really do some serious thinking about what you need to ask. What are the important questions? What's true? What's false? And can we move beyond duality and into seeing that if we all help one another on this planet, and we really took care of Mother Earth and one another, we can create a completely different world. So, I would suggest that gradually you do stock up on foods, and various dried goods. Just do it gradually. You don't need to hoard a lot. Just every few days, buy a little more. Does no harm. If you've got it, if you can. And if you've got a little extra, share it with somebody else. So much love to you all. Thank you for listening. May you be well, may you be healthy. And may you say positive and kind words. And may I do the same. I really want to do that too.